We're going to get to the Cavs real quick. The Cleveland Charge back at home this weekend. They picked up a big win last night in College Park. This is serious, boy. I see you laughing.
Yeah.
They were down to 6 rostered players.
I saw you tweet. That's pretty impressive.
6 rostered players.
Their coach is doing a heck of a job.
Coach Kel Abrams doing a great job. They signed a guy off the street because he was the only guy that lived in the Atlanta area. He came in, hit 2 threes.
Who was this guy?
So there's a player pool of free agents in the G League.
Oh, wow.
He was the only quote-unquote G League free agent that lived in the Atlanta area. He met the team an hour before tip-off, hit 2 threes in the game. They won. They get reinforcements. The Cavalry is back for tomorrow night's game, and they're home this weekend against the Greensboro Swarm, 2 of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. Head out. Get your tickets at clevelandcharge.com. A lot of fun. Fun for the whole family. Very affordable. Head over to clevelandcharge.com for all your Cleveland Charge tickets. All right, guys, this is the NBA trade rumor that has rocked the league, according to multiple reports. The first was from Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated. The Cavaliers and the Clippers are in advanced discussions in a Darius Garland for James Harden swap. The money almost works to a T. Darius makes slightly more than James Harden, like $100,000 more, meaning it could be a 1-for-1 swap. According to the reporting, including Mark Stein, James Harden will not get any long-term guarantee from the Clippers. They will not put any money on the table for him past 2027, and that is why he has now requested a trade. He has a player option for next season for about $41 million. So it is up in his hands to either veto a trade if he does not want to be traded to a certain team. He does technically have that capability. But let's just start with the basis. Bull, you're excited to talk Cavs.
Yeah.
A Darius Garland for James Harden 1-for-1 swap. Would you do it, and why?
I would, and I can't believe I'm saying this, guys, but I've never been a huge James Harden fan, but I'm not a particularly big Darius Garland fan either. And I know James Harden is flawed as a player. He's been known to be extremely unclutch in the postseason. But you'd think the guy would want to win one championship or at least get to the finals. He still can score with anybody on the planet. He's a great passer. You know, he does. I know he stinks on defense, but Darius Garland stinks on defense. So what's the difference? I get it. A lot of people say, well, he's 10 years older. But let's face it, folks. The time, the Cavs don't have that much time to turn it around. If they don't turn it around, if they don't make a run this year, Donovan Mitchell may want out. He's getting old. He don't want to stick around for a team where, you know, and there was a report I saw right before I left the house.
From Tim Bontemps, who said if they don't make it out into the finals, deep playoff run, Donovan could be asking for a trade. And we're going to dive into that side of things.
I also saw something else that said Donovan likes James Harden. If Donovan wants James Harden, go get James Harden.
Hit the button.
That, to me, is that simple. Will it work? I don't know. But you know what? Unless the Knicks get Giannis, the Cavs with Harden, to me, should win the East. And you get to the finals, they're going to be a big underdog, but, you know, who the hell knows? There's no long window. They're not winning anything with Mobley and Darius as their 2 best guys. So if they don't get to the finals by this year, or at least make a deep run, Donovan's going to, if not out this year, the following year. So you got to make something happen now. Unless I can get Giannis.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd rather have Giannis than Harden. But unless I can get Giannis, I'm going to go get Harden even with his flaws.
Hey, look, you know what? I was sitting here. I thought I was going to have to come in and have a battle.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't the biggest Harden fan.
Right.
I know McNuggets don't want no parts of Harden.
Right.
I knew he from Brooklyn. And I know Bull don't mess with Harden at all.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like this is about to be a landslide. But then on the drive in here, I said, oh, hold on.
There we go.
Oh, hold on. No. We're not going to do this. We got to examine this because I'm going to take it. Listen. Darius Garland, guys, just understand this. For all of the flaws that James Harden has, let's just keep it a buck. Darius Garland is not better than James Harden.
No.
At all. And so that's the one thing. 2, say what you want about James Harden. He just comes in and wherever he's going to put them same numbers up. It don't matter if he's playing for the Charge. He's going to put them same numbers up. And my thing about Darius Garland is he can't finish playoff series. He can't get through a regular season. And the elephant in the room is Darius Garland's contract, as it gets older and more and matures more, has become more and more unattainable. Jason talks about it. I mean, what is his market value?
Let me ask you this on the money, because look, you can see it on your screen here. If they give the projected salary extension or contract extension to James Harden that he's asking the Clippers for and they will not commit to, you're saving $7 million over 3 years on James Harden compared to Darius Garland. So this is not a financial move unless they get word from Harden that he will opt out of his player option.
And I would assume he would opt out.
No, he wants the long-term commitment.
So
That's why he wants out of LA.
So so what you're saying to me is that James Harden comes here 9 times out of 10, he's going to most likely want a long-term contract in Cleveland.
So if you believe the reporting from Mark Stein, he is saying, and he being James Harden, I want a commitment from a team where I know I'll be for the next couple of years to end my career. The Clippers are not willing to commit any money to any player past 2027, which is now all of a sudden, despite the fact that they've won 17 of 21 games and are the best team in basketball over the last 2 months, James Harden is now asking for a trade. So any team that acquires James Harden, I would assume, I'm going into this with the impression based on the reporting, that they would have to commit to 2 more years after this year. James
Whatever.
Harden. So real quick, so I'm just saying it lines up with the same contract length as Darius Garland, and it's $7 million cheaper.
And think about this, guys. To me, you make this move, this is about a 2-year chance to win a championship.
Yes, sir.
It's this year, and then all signs point to LeBron coming here next year.
There it is.
For one last run.
There it is.
Donovan would be on the last year of his contract.
There it is.
LeBron, no, am I wrong about that?
He has a player option after next year.
Right, so essentially, LeBron in his last year probably, Donovan last year under contract, and Harden's got 1 more year. All right, you got to the year after he'll suck and they'll suck and whatever. You'll get rid of him.
That's cool.
If you got to pay him, you got to pay him. This to me, you want to say, well, you have a longer run if you don't do this. Your chances of winning a championship go higher, even with Harden's flaws. You disagree, Tyvis?
Tyvis, you're the DG guy, so what do you say?
Everything y'all said is 100% true.
But,
however, DG's my boy, and I don't want him to go nowhere.
Okay.
That's my only pushback.
All right. Well, that's not much of a pushback.
Would you cry if you had to go somewhere?
Would I cry?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a DG Garland jersey. I got a DG.
Hey, we'll get you a beer. Listen, I'll buy you another.
I mean, yes, everything y'all said is true, but y'all act like Harden is the best playoff performer.
No, he's not.
No, I said he's not.
We
know that.
So,
no.
We know that.
Is it really moving the needle that much?
Yeah.
How?
Because I don't know if Darius Garland got 2 boots on.
I understand that from an injury standpoint.
For all of Harden's flaws, if you're a defender in the playoffs on another team, are you more worried about Harden or Garland?
James Harden.
I mean,
Mike, you disagree?
In the playoffs? I mean, James Harden is notoriously one of the worst players.
That's what I'm saying.
He's no doubt had a lot of big moments where he sucked. But let's not make it seem like he never has a good playoff game. I mean, that's being disingenuous.
His Game 7, I mean, these are his career playoff numbers.
Yeah.
They do look pretty good.
Yeah.
Until it's a Game 7 where you need James Harden to show up, and he's been historically horrific.
Oh, I like them numbers. I like them. All right, let's not. I'm gonna keep
now
it a buck.
The points is down.
I just
the
don't.
Everything's way down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it really that big of a? Is it really?
But those numbers are still better than Darius Garland's playoff numbers.
So, can I give you the pros and the cons from my perspective?
Go ahead.
Isn't he terrible, like off ball?
That's one of the cons for sure.
All right, come on.
Earl and I did an Ultimate Cavs stream this morning where we dove into this even deeper. So if you want to listen to like a 25-minute kind of deep dive into this, it is on our YouTube page right now. The pros of this deal: Harden is an ox. The only times he doesn't play is when he quits on a team. Like he almost never doesn't play because of injury.
Right.
Seriously. And I say that jokingly, but I'm dead serious.
But that's meaningful.
And if nothing else, if you don't think Darius Garland will get back to being healthiest Darius Garland, at least healthy enough to where he can actually help you win a playoff series, then you could talk yourself into this based off that alone, right? That alone. Number 2, James Harden is an elite passer. Like elite passer. And every big man he's ever played with in his career has essentially had the best season of their career playing alongside of James Harden. He's as good as it's ever been in the history of the NBA at orchestrating a pick and roll. Alongside Jared Allen, alongside Evan Mobley. Those two could look as good as they've ever looked in their Cavs tenure alongside James Harden.
You're hyping me up even more.
I'm hyped.
I don't know.
What do we need to know?
The downside.
Downside.
Okay.
His entire career, he's played the exact same offensive system where he is the heliocentric focal point of the offense. That means you're taking the ball out of Donovan's hands way more than it ever has been his entire NBA career and putting it in James Harden's hands and letting him operate. Are you willing to sacrifice a lot of what Donovan does best to fit what James Harden does?
Well, does it have to completely?
Completely no, and theoretically you would still like to run the offense the same way Kenny Atkinson has run offense in the past. James Harden in his 17-year career has played that one style ever since he left OKC. And
even this year, he had the ball in his hands all the time?
All the time. I'll pull up I don't have enough hands to type and talk at the same time. I'll look it up in a sec.
What?
He is one of the highest usage rates in basketball, and he likes to run an offense where it's slow, deliberate. He's going to dribble, probe, wait for the defense to figure out, operate, read, and
the Cavs know that going in. Donovan knows that going in.
Exactly. I'm just saying these are the possible cons.
You got the regular season to figure it out.
I'm just laying out the possible.
How many minutes a game does Donovan play?
33-ish.
And how many minutes does James Harden play?
Probably more.
Well, there's going to be 10, 15 minutes each. Well,
they play alone.
Where they play alone, right? Yes. They each play alone.
Harden is playing 35.5 minutes per game this season.
And what is Darius, when Darius and Donovan is playing together on the court at the same time, do you know what Darius's usage is compared to Donovan's?
If I had 6 hands, I could look it all up for you. So let me just give my last point, then I'll look
at
all the
stats.
Okay.
His playoff track record is not great. That is a legit con. We can say all he wants. Darius has not played enough to have a playoff track record, so you're comparing two non-great things, but it's not great. I don't love the pairing of him and Don, but great players make great things work. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Fit be damned.
Yeah.
I don't love the idea of paying a 38-year-old James Harden $40 million a year. I think that could backfire.
But if it doesn't work in the next 2 years, Mike, they were going to stink anyway.
We out here.
Let me get to where I'm getting to.
Okay.
Here we go. There we go.
The Cavs are in championship win-now mode.
Yeah.
You got to make legitimate swings in win-now mode if you don't trust what you currently have. To me, the fact that this rumor got out there, whatever side it was leaked from, tells you that Kobe Altman does not trust the future of Darius Garland's toe.
That's right.
He does not trust it. And if the Cavs have the option of James Harden and all his flaws versus the potential of a healthy Darius Garland and or the reality of Darius Garland's current situation, which is A, hasn't fully recovered from last year's toe injury.
Right.
B, was supposed to be reevaluated last week for his new toe injury, and guess who still hasn't been back in the court yet and doesn't appear to be coming back anytime soon.
Right.
Darius Garland. I kind of like the option of what I know versus the unknown.
It's so funny.
I can't believe I'm talking myself into James.
I know, because I said the same thing.
Harden.
Like, if you would have told me 6 months ago you want James Harden, I would have been like,
you'd have lost your mind.
I don't like James Harden. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and a wide open East. Hopefully Giannis gets traded to the West. I don't want him ending up on the Knicks.
He's not getting traded.
You don't think he's getting traded, period?
They said that he wasn't. I seen something today that said he's not.
Well, if he does get traded, I hope he ends up in the West.
I think when they traded DeAndre Hunter and they, after just moving picks and money around and going into the luxury tax to get him last year, and they moved him for basically some pieces and parts, I knew they didn't believe in this roster. That right there told me they felt they didn't have enough.
Yeah.
They gave it a long run. They thought maybe we get Max Strus back. They thought maybe Darius would be more healthy so he can work his way back into it. They thought Evan Mobley was going to take a jump. All three of them did not happen. Strus, we don't know when he's coming back. Darius Garland is more hurt than he was to start the season, and Evan Mobley has arguably taken a step back just statistic-wise in terms of what he is. Now you got Donovan Mitchell that's out there holding it down, trying to play 35 minutes, getting 40 a game. And now they're like, no, we can't afford, the Cavs have no more luxury. We cannot afford to talk about the core four at all. We don't have time like that because now the clock is ticking on Donovan Mitchell. And if I'm Donovan Mitchell, I'm telling him, no, y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something.
And by the way, go ahead.
Is it still true that the offense is best when Darius is on the court?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
But
I rest my case.
But here's the thing. You could also cut down the minutes. You could take Harden and Donovan down to, 30 minutes each.
Like in terms of their playoff rotation or like during
the regular season?
Yeah, I mean.
So they're not, and you know, if you're playing 30 minutes each, that's only what, you know. I mean, you got to take the regular season to get used to playing together. Obviously, it'll be an adjustment. There's no doubt. There's rumors involving everybody. Jared Allen, I've seen rumors. Max Strus, obviously Ball.
So there's one. So real quick, the usage rates you guys asked me.
Yeah.
So Donovan's 5th in the league currently. His usage rate is 32.4 this season. And for anyone who's unfamiliar, the exact definition of usage rate per Pro Basketball Reference, an estimate of the percentage of team plays used by a player while they are on the floor. So how many times is the ball put in your hand to run said play?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So Donovan's 5th in the league at 32.5% usage rate. Luke is number 1 with 37.6. Harden is 7th at 31.1. Darius Garland's 34th.
What?
25%.
Okay.
What is Jalen Brunson at?
Jalen Brunson is 9th at 30.9.
So what I want is he gonna get all Darius's 25, right? He gonna get all that percentage. Now he might not be in the top 10 no more, but I guess my question to you, McNuggets, is if they are going to play those guys and stagger them, can't you? I know people don't like to change the total offense when one person's on the court, but I can envision a time where if he is playing with Mobley or Allen and you got a big with Darius Garland, a big with Donovan Mitchell and a big with James Harden, I feel like you can do a heavy diet of pick and roll with shooters around when you got Harden on the floor, right?
And that's what they would do. And that's what they kind of do with Darius Garland already. They just would be even accentuated more with the James Harden. The one thing on the flip side is when Donovan does have the ball, if they're sharing the court together, Harden does nothing off ball. Doesn't cut, doesn't move. He's going to stand in the corner, and you essentially have a very good three-point shooter in the corner who doesn't make the defense think or move whatsoever. So that's part of the flaw. The one thing that was interesting in the reporting on this deal so far is that the Cavs had allegedly, or reportedly, we could say, asked for a first-round pick in return from the Clippers for this.
I think it was a pick swap.
Well, it started as a first-round pick.
Oh.
Then it got to a pick swap. The Clippers have said no to all of that.
Yeah, I understand. The Cavs are saying we're giving you the younger player, but the Clippers are like, yeah, but you want Harden.
Now, the other part of that, in my mind, and just putting puzzle pieces together, if the Cavs are gung-ho on getting draft capital back in some regard, to me that signals this is part one of a multi-part plan, and we could see multiple deals come Thursday because the Cavs need more draft assets. The Cavs need more draft assets to make some of the other moves they want to make, especially when they're giving away assets that may not have as much value as the player seems to have, like a Jared Allen, for example, even though he scored 40 points that night. Like, they may have to attach a pick to a team to take on his contract, which jumps to $30 million per year over the next 3 years. The fact that that could be a holdup in this deal signals to me this deal could happen in its own right, and then there could be a domino effect of 2, 3, 4, not 5, but 2 or 3 more deals after that.
What other big names? I mean, you're saying Giannis is not going to get traded.
Chris B. Haynes, Los Angeles Clippers and Cleveland Cavaliers have ramped up conversations on James Harden and Darius Garland package, with both sides motivated to executing a deal relatively soon.
And Wendy was on ESPN Cleveland saying the Cavs have reached out to the Mavericks about Anthony Davis. So we're talking like major names in play here.
For what? For what? How?
Anthony Davis.
Like, do he even play?
Who want Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis never stays healthy.
This is, guys.
Who want Anthony Davis?
The Cavs are in championship now mode. Like, they are in. Davis. We are trying to win right now.
Well, who you trade? I mean, I guess.
I literally just saw someone say.
I guess Jared Allen would be in the deal.
It'd have to, but they have so many centers. I actually think it'd probably be like Strus, Tyson. And maybe that first-round pick you get.
Whoa.
It's different now. It's different now. Now it's different.
Under no circumstances is one of the Tyson brothers leaving. We got hopes of uniting him.
I like him, but I would trade him in the right deal.
You got to give somebody get some. The Mavs have too many centers.
It's different now, huh, G? Wait a minute, stockpile. You don't want that? You don't want Anthony Davis?
I mean, if you got to trade Tyson, you trade him.
I mean, that's not been reported. I'm just throwing.
I mean, if I'm willing to trade Darius Garland, I got to be willing to trade Tyson.
You too good. You too good at your job, McNuggets. Stop giving these dudes ammunition.
McNuggets.
I'm looking at trade machines.
Don't the Cavs play the Clippers tomorrow?
They do play the Clippers tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they would just stay in
James Harden. Will James Harden be in a Cavs uniform when they play tomorrow?
Kind of funny.
Hey, by the way, if they do get Harden, I'm instantly all in back on the Cavs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even though I don't like it, but I'm back in.
Hey, I'm back.
Well, now I want to watch the game.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what it looks like.
And we ain't gonna give no pushback to Mikey when he win the league with Cavs.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
they gonna trade Darius, man.
Maybe.
Hey,
Seems
man,
that way.
Seems like they hype, man. Look, if you get James
never
Harden,
stays healthy.
If you get
Watch
James
him go there
Harden,
and be healthy as heck and just ball, and I'm gonna be sitting
the
there like,
Cavs, if they get James Harden, if you're playing the Cavs, despite what you're talking about, now that's a little dangerous, man, because now, you got somebody, like, I didn't see Harden get 50 multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's a playoff, I get it that he ain't played well in the playoffs, but he's motivated because of the bread. Him and Donovan Mitchell both want to win. They both get older. And the fact that if you get him, I'm going to tell you what this looks like. You get James Harden, you might as well already book LeBron. Book it. Book LeBron. It's a book.
Well, there was a report yesterday that the Lakers and LeBron are done.
They're finito.
So he's either going to retire or come here. I can't see him going anywhere else.
That's it. This is the first part of a two-part story.
And there's no way I can't see.
So if they done with him, is Bronny a package with him?
Of course. Of course.
I'm looking at Anthony Davis trades right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
The Cavs have to make another move first before a Davis trade feels feasible.
I would rather have Harden than Davis.
So
Way
in
Anthony
a
Davis
hypothetical world,
is coming
Yeah.
here.
listen, I'm telling you guys, I've told you guys, they are in. We have to win right now.
Anything's possible right now.
I'm not
Getting
taking
Harden
anything.
and
I'm gonna throw another
Anthony
here. I'm gonna
Davis.
throw another name real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced the Harden.
Luka.
No, now I'm convinced that won't happen. But I'm not convinced the Harden deal comes to fruition.
Okay.
You know what player makes the exact same amount of money to the penny that Darius Garland makes?
Don't say
Kevin
that.
Durant.
He already said it to me, and I
Zion Williamson. Would you do a Garland for Zion? I'm just throwing out ideas.
I don't know. This guy.
Good Lord.
I haven't even Zion Williamson.
Whoa! Oh, it's different now. Wait a minute. Why is it
James
different?
Harden is healthy. Zion Williamson is more injured than Anthony Davis.
Just throwing out ideas. I'm not saying.
How many games is he? I don't even pay attention to him. He's on the worst team.
I know
played
he
30,
blew
he's
a
played
parlay
36
of
games this
mine
year. He's
the
been
other
healthy this
day.
year.
So
He's been healthy this year.
He's been healthy this year.
So who is Anthony Davis? Is he injured still? Like, is he on the court?
Isn't he hurt right
I don't
now?
think he on the court.
I think Anthony Davis is actually hurt right now.
Yeah.
So
What's Zion doing this year?
let me see them
Zion's
numbers.
averaging 21.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 58% from the floor, and he does not shoot threes.
Y'all too.
Hey, boy.
Y'all
I mean, he's a good
too-
player.
I mean,
y'all
he
too
is. He a
sick.
good
Oh,
man.
what are the odds he's going to stay healthy?
He brings a level of physicality.
What's the odds Darius is gonna stay?
But
Can I
now
be honest?
you'd have to get rid of Jared Allen. You can't have Zion and Jared Allen playing
You can't have
together.
Zion and Jared Allen. We are now like looking 7 steps down the road.
Yeah.
So listen to me. This is a multi-step process.
Okay.
Yeah.
The disaster.
If the Cavs, I kind of like the fit of Zion more than I like James Harden. I
But
kind of do.
we talked about this, Mike. He's hurt all the time.
I know. I'm just saying. I kind of like the fit.
Let's forget Giannis, because we'll say that's on the table.
Giannis is off.
Besides Giannis,
I don't care about no deal.
when we wait
Anthony Davis is the best.
Thursday night, guys. Mike, you set it up, and then we'll jump and we'll give our opinions. What is the bet? Like all these different machinations. Let's say the Cavs end up making 2-3 trades. Who the hell knows?
They gonna make
But we'll
zero
leave
trades.
Giannis out because he seems unlikely, and that's an obvious one. Besides Giannis, what is the best case scenario for the top 10 players, like the starter and backup, at each position for the Cavs? Best case scenario, best realistic case scenario, minus Giannis
If you
on,
give me
on Thursday night.
Give me 1 second.
All right, let me give you a little time here.
All right, you ready?
It's a lot to think. All right,
Yeah,
1
yeah.
second. That was quick. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm serious.
All right, point guard,
James Harden,
backup,
Schroeder.
two guard,
Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah.
Sam Merrill,
small forward.
Jalen Tyson, Keon Ellis,
All right, nothing else that we're not expecting. A power forward.
Evan Mobley, and insert random minimum player here.
All right, not
Possibly Dean Wade, but
All right, I don't want to hear about
the money has to work on this.
All right, and center.
Anthony Davis and Thomas Bryant.
How the hell did you get these folks?
So how you getting
How
Anthony
you get
Davis?
to that?
Strus, Allen,
Yeah.
picks.
But what picks?
You may have to throw a pick you get from the Clippers from Harden.
Okay.
You may have to throw Tyson in that deal. I wouldn't want to, but
in that scenario,
you asked me hypothetically on the fly.
If you can get Anthony Davis, and Harden, and only trade Darius from the guys who are currently playing legit minutes,
and Jared Allen.
And Jared Allen.
And Strus ain't even played.
I'm in.
And you know
I'm
what,
in on that.
Tyson probably has to be in that. Full disclosure, Tyson probably. All right, so you know what? We'll throw Tyson in there because I think you have to give up Tyson.
All right.
So you have Harden and Schroeder, Mitchell and Merrill, Keon Ellis, and Naquan Tomlin are your threes.
Okay.
You have Mobley and Wade at the 4, and then you got Anthony Davis and Thomas Bryant.
I'm in on that,
right,
although
G?
I like you better with Tyson. But I'm in. I got to be in on
You got to
that.
take the deal, huh?
Project stockpile. Listen, Project has principles, and
then next year,
and then we're gonna get LeBron
and Keon comes off the bench.
Yeah. Listen.
Keon's a really good defender, right?
Now,
Very, very, very.
This is mythical work by McNuggets back here. This
that was
mythical
well done.
work,
You put that together in like 2 seconds.
I don't know how you got, but listen, this thing can implode.
Oh,
but
big time.
It can melt down. But here's the thing. It's going to melt down anyway if you don't win anyway.
Wait a second. Do LeBron and Anthony Davis have a bad relationship because Anthony Davis got traded from the Lakers?
He's still with Clutch.
No, they're still tight. They're both clutch.
I mean, LeBron, like everybody.
Yeah.
Why is it that everybody been out on the core for years and it took them till just now to be out on?
Because tick, 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 tick.
But I'm saying, like, we said this 2 years ago.
But I think
I don't understand why it takes front offices so long to figure this out.
My opinion, I think Kobe Altman sees that the East is completely wide open. I think for the first time in a long time, he's feeling some pressure because he may be on the hot seat right now. The team's going.
I think everybody in that building is on the hot seat.
On the hot seat.
Every single
and so
person.
He says, all right, well, I can't think about a 6-year window. I got to think about 2 years.
Today.
This year. No.
Yeah, really this year. Yeah.
It is this year because
and so
the worst case scenario, and we're going to talk about the Donovan stuff in a little bit, is you flame out in the second round again. Don asked for a trade. If that happens, you're stuck with nothing.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it
blow
a bean.
it up anyway.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. If Giannis go to the Knicks, it's done.
That's a problem.
Care what
yes.
trade you make, it's done.
You're right. If Giannis goes to the Knicks, they're very likely going to the finals if he's healthy. But I'm just hoping he goes to the Warriors.
They have to do something.
They can't
They
sit
can
on their
try
hands.
it, but it's done.
See, here the problem now is if they don't get any of these guys, then we're going to be not. Then I'm like, I don't want to watch it all.
Well, not even that, but if you're Darius Garland, how do you walk back in the locker room?
Good point.
You look at your check on
touchy.
Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Whoa.
Are we going to rip Donovan like we're ripping Jim Schwartz?
You mean Darius?
I want you as
You mean Darius?
I'm Darius. I want you,
Darius
Earl. I want you,
Darius
Earl, and
ain't
Jason
stormed out
to
nowhere.
have the same energy.
Darius didn't storm out of nowhere.
Well, what do you mean storm out? Did Jim Schwartz actually storm out?
That's what they say.
Who said that?
He said his goodbyes and walked out. Darius ain't
I don't know
said no
that he
goodbye to
stormed out.
nobody.
Darius will be all
But
right.
if Darius storms out,
I would be
all right,
I'd say the
fair
same
enough.
thing.
At least you're keeping it a bean.
Yeah, stop playing with me.
He's keeping it a bean. This guy, he's funny, man.